program. And on the foreign front, dozens of worshippers kidnapped by gunmen in Nigeria's northern Kaduna state return home weeks after their abduction. Hello, good evening. Thanks for joining us on Newshour here on GBC News, the News and Governance channel. We are live on Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. I am Rahmatu Mahmoud Jawando. We have Jonathan and Tim Dakun to translate the news into sign language. Thanks for joining us. President John Dramani Mahama has been ranked as the 5th most influential figure in global development on the DIVEX Power 50 list for 2026. The recognition places President Mahama among global figures shaping the future of development at a time of major shifts in international aid, financing, and global cooperation.
DIVEX, in a statement, explained that President Mahama has been a voice pushing for a new deal for African development, influencing debates on debt relief, trade reform, and climate finance. The statement commended the impact President Mahama made when he convened African leaders, policymakers, and global health experts in Accra, where a new vision towards African health sovereignty, rooted in national ownership and more equitable global cooperation, was launched. The list of most influential figures in global development by DIVEX focuses on individuals who are transforming development in a post-aid era, including figures in government, philanthropy, multilateral finance, artificial intelligence, and global health. The Accra Reset Initiative, being strongly pushed by President Mahama, cements his growing stature as one of the world's most impactful voices shaping development policies and reforms.
The recent threats of terrorism and terrorist attacks in West Africa have jolted regional leaders into strategic meetings to find solution. President John Mahama, who chaired the latest conference in Accra, called for renewed unity and collective action to confront terrorism, violent extremism, and transitional organized crime in the sub-region.
Consultative Conference on Regional Cooperation and Security convened heads of state, intelligence chiefs, and key stakeholders to devise ways of checking worsening insecurity across West Africa and the Sahel. Ghana hosted the conference to provide a platform for the leaders to reflect on the region's growing challenges and to renew collective resolve to act decisively and in solidarity while respecting the sovereignty and political choices of all states. President John Mahama said, peace, stability, and prosperity in the region could not be achieved through isolated national effort.
In our region, progress in one country strengthens the collective, while instability or insecurity in another part reverberates across our borders. It is therefore neither realistic nor sustainable for any state to pursue peace, security, or prosperity in isolation. This reality places upon us a shared responsibility to address our challenges not as isolated national concerns, but as common obligations requiring our collective action and mutual accountability.
Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada Bio said terrorism in West Africa had entered a dangerous phase, noting that armed groups were no longer testing states, but actively seeking to dismantle them.
This meeting comes at a very critical time for our region. In West Africa today, there is no national security in isolation. There is only one shared security or shared failure. This conference offers us an opportunity to re-examine our security architecture and also to strengthen it through solidarity, cooperation, and renewed commitment with ECOWAS at the center of our collective effort.
Liberia as a nation understands the costs associated with violent conflicts. We live in it. We experienced and continue to bear the scars of devastating impact. This is why we are committed to the prevention of conflict of all kinds, nationally, regionally, and internationally.
The two-day conference is expected to culminate in renewed commitment by heads of state to strengthen regional solidarity, coordination, and collective action. For GBC News, Michael Dewonu reporting.
Still on the issue of regional security, West African leaders have agreed to strengthen regional security cooperation as a high-level consultative conference on regional cooperation and security, which ended in Accra with a strong call to move from dialogue to action. Reading the final joint communique, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, said the leaders acknowledged that West Africa has become the global epicenter of terrorism and violent extremism, recording at least 8 attacks daily and counting for more than half of terrorism-related deaths worldwide. The two-day meeting brought together heads of state and government of Ghana, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, alongside representatives from Burkina Faso, Mali, Mauritania, Nigeria, Senegal, and Togo. The conference was chaired by President John Mahama.
At the end of the meeting, participants reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening regional cooperation to address the evolving peace, security, and governance challenges in order to rebuild regional stability. They also declared that sustainable security in Western Africa calls for a shift toward a human security approach, underpinned by regional solidarity, respect for sovereignty, and a people-centered, gender-responsive approach to peace building. On security and counter-terrorism, the high-level consultative conference, recognizing the inextricable link between transnational organized crime and violent extremism, agreed to A, strengthen regular meetings of states in the region to review peace and security commitments, B, strengthen intelligence and information sharing and reinforce the harmonization of legal frameworks to enhance the cross-border prosecution of terrorism-related offenses while safeguarding human rights. C, strengthen the implementation of de-radicalization programs. In respect of border security and counterterrorism, to combat the fluid movement of criminal and extremist elements, this high-level conference committed to A, consider adopting a hot pursuit by bilateral, minilateral, or multilateral agreement to support the fight against transnational crimes. B, design a foundational memorandum of understanding and protocols on cooperation and security within 6 calendar months after this high-level consultative conference to serve as the basis for further agreements, be they bilateral, minilateral, or multilateral.
The National Communications Authority has announced that it will no longer process applications for broadcasting authorizations from government ministries, departments, and agencies. This follows a new policy directive issued on November 6, 2025 by the Ministry of Communications, Digital Technology and Innovations in recognition of the GBC as the sole state broadcaster mandated to deliver public service broadcasting on behalf of the government.
National Communications Authority (NCA), the directive from the Ministry of Communications, Digital Technology and Innovations states that government policy no longer supports the granting of independent broadcasting licenses to state institutions outside the framework of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation (GBC). The decision is rooted in the 1992 Constitution and the GBC Act, which recognize the corporation as the sole state broadcaster mandated to deliver public service broadcasting on behalf of the government. The ministry explained that the proliferation of independent broadcasting platforms by government agencies poses several challenges, including duplication of state-funded infrastructure, risks to the neutrality of state communication, fragmentation of the national broadcasting space, potential incompetencies with the statutory role of GBC and increased strain on limited spectrum resources. As a result, ministries and agencies seeking broadcasting platforms for public education, outreach or information dissemination will be required to collaborate with the GBC through its national and regional networks or platforms, or partner with existing licensed broadcasters under agreements consistent with public service delivery. The directive underscores government's commitment to maintaining coherence in state communication and safeguarding the integrity of Ghana's broadcasting coexistence.
The Accra High Court has ordered Nana Appiah Mensah, aka Nam1, the chief executive of Men's Gold Company Limited, to file his statement of defense in the ongoing criminal trial against him and 2 others. Nam1, who has since 2024 fought the order of the High Court to open his defense in the case, finally took the stand to give an oral testimony in the case. But on Monday, February 2, the court ordered him to file his defense to expedite proceedings. Nam1, Men's Gold Ghana Limited, and Brew Marketing Consult are facing trial over allegations of defrauding over 100 individuals who had various investments with them. Nana Appiah Mensah Nam1 told the court that Men's Gold Ghana Limited was incorporated to undertake the business of gold mining, buying, value addition to the gold that will be mined or purchased, and export, among others. He told the court that at the time of Men's Gold operations, the company had the relevant license, which was issued by the Precious Minerals Commission after the completion of all relevant documentations and screening processes were conducted. Mr. Appiah Mensah, 2 or 3 years later, said PMMC was mandated as the national assayer instead of a licensing institution. He said the company presented microscopic details of their intended operations to the PMMC and were later invited to sign the license agreement with the Minister for Lands, Mines and Natural Resources at the time. When his lawyers asked if he had proof of the incorporation and license, Nam answered in the affirmative, while telling the court that his claim could be verified at the institutions. He said when Men's Gold Company was shut down by the Security and Exchanges Commission, the Economic and Organized Crime Office (EOCO) preserved all their officers. As a result, he is not able to assess valuable evidence that would have been used in defense of the allegations leveled against him. The prosecution drew the court attention to the need for Nana Appiah Mensah to file a witness in order to capture his oral arguments for a speedy trial. Nam1 had earlier said he will not file any witness statement, but would call 7 defense witnesses, including Ghana Police Service, Economic and Organized Crime Office (EOCO), Bank of Ghana, the Securities and Exchange Commission, Minerals Commission, Agricultural Development Bank and Zenith Bank. Nam1 and his 2 companies, Men's Gold Company Limited and Brew Marketing Consult, have been on trial since 2020 for allegedly defrauding customers of the company to the tune of 340 million cedis. The 3 have been charged with a total of 39 counts, 1 count of selling gold without license, 1 count of operating deposit-taking business, 1 count of inducement to invest, 22 counts of defrauding by false pretense, 7 counts of fraudulent breach of trust, and 7 counts of money laundering. The 3 are alleged to have defrauded their customers in various sums of monies between 2016 and 2018, totaling 340,835,650 cedis. The court returns on February 19 for case management conference. It is in an effort to bridge the educational divide that the Complementary Education Agency, Ghana Education Service, has launched a groundbreaking initiative, the Ghana-Nigeria Complementary Basic Education Learning Exchange Program. This innovative approach seeks to bring alternative education to the doorstep of children outside the traditional classroom, and thus means inclusivity and equal opportunities.
As the world grapples with a staggering 250 million out-of-school children, Ghana and Nigeria are taking bold steps to bridge the gap, with sub-Saharan Africa bearing the brunt and Ghana alone counting 8 million out-of-school children. The need for alternative education models is there. This is where the Ghana-Nigeria Complementary Basic Education Learning Exchange Program comes in, a beacon of hope for inclusive quality learning. Acting Executive Director of the Complementary Education Agency, Mr. Daniel Ashiama, says this initiative endorses Ghana's commitment to inclusive education and regional cooperation.
Education should not be based on ethnic, religion, color, not at all. Every child needs education, proper education. The Ministry of Education, through the Complementary Education Agency, has collaborated over the years to make quality basic education accessible to all, especially out-of-school children, to realize Sustainable Development Goal 4, which calls for education for all.
Also at the event was the education advisor at the British High Commission, Johanna W. Koenig. She says partnerships are key to unlocking education for the marginalized. She highlighted collective action to reach those left behind.
From the FCDO side, we've been part of the journey that we were just hearing about, from the complementary basic education to being kind of really a government-owned and led and run program. We're here to kind of listen and help and to facilitate whatever we can and to support in this kind of exchange and efforts. So.
Through the Ghana-Nigeria Complementary Basic Education Exchange Program, Ghana and Nigeria are forging a path of shared learning and growth. Education advisor to the British High Commissioner in Abuja, Joseph Wales, noted that this partnership will see both nations exchanging best practices, policies and innovations to boost access, quality and sustainability of alternative education, a crucial step towards ensuring no child is left behind.
Our role here is very much as facilitators, but also to learn alongside our colleagues. And really this is one part of the journey that we're going on with our Nigerian counterparts to try and work together to see how we can address the huge challenge of out-of-school children. And so very much looking forward to learning as much as we can, but then continuing our work with the federal government and with our state partners to learn what more we can do together to address the challenge in Nigeria.
Still on education, Minister for Education Haruna Iddrisu has announced that Ghana is preparing to exit its International Monetary Fund program before the end of 2026, a move that will allow government to settle outstanding obligations on stalled infrastructure projects, including the University of Engineering and Agricultural Sciences at Bunso in the Eastern region. The minister made the disclosure during an inspection of the university construction to assess progress of work on the $90 million project, which began in 2022 with support from the government of South Korea.
The Minister for Education, Mr. Haruna Iddrisu, explained that Ghana's debt exchange program had constrained public spending, delayed payment to contractors, and stalled several projects, including the Bunso University. He said out of the total committed amount, $28.6 million remains outstanding, including $9.8 million owed by the Ministry of Finance. The minister expressed confidence that these obligations will be honored once Ghana exits the IMF program. The university is expected to admit its first batch of 800 students in October 2026, split between agricultural sciences and engineering. Mr. Iddrisu noted that the project is pending the passage of a bill by Cabinet and Parliament before March 30, 2026.
President John Dramani Mahama will continue, as is expected of him, under the directive principles of state policy. He would complete this university for the use of Ghanaian students our cooperation with the Korean government emphasizes the area of research and innovation, and more importantly, academic and cultural exchange. This university initiative started off as a symbolic gesture of the cooperation between Ghana and Korea. Today, it's a tangible gesture. It's gone beyond symbolism to a real infrastructure to support higher education and tertiary education.
Mr. Idrisu also visited Pope John Senior High School and Seminary in Kofodua to inspect a land earmarked for the construction of a modern science laboratory in honor of the late Defense Minister, Dr. Edward Kofi Omaneboama, an old student of the school. With these projects, the government aims to expand access to quality tertiary and secondary education, strengthen Ghana's research and innovation capacity, as well as provide lasting infrastructure that benefits students and communities alike.
More than 120 female students of the Tolon Senior High School have been asked to go home for 1 week following a fire outbreak that destroyed their dormitories. The fire disaster comes less than a week after a similar incident at the Northern Business Senior High School displaced over 900 students.
The blaze, which broke out around 7 a.m. on Monday, reduced the dormitories to ashes and destroyed personal belongings, including mattresses, books, uniforms, and provisions. About 346 female students were affected. Fortunately, no casualties were recorded as students were evacuated in time. The Ghana National Fire Service also responded swiftly and managed to contain the flames, preventing the disaster from spreading to other parts of the campus. School authorities also convened an emergency meeting to decide on temporary accommodation for the affected students to ensure academic activities continue without disruption. Meanwhile, investigations are underway to establish the cause of the fire. The displaced students have appealed for urgent support, having lost nearly all their possessions. The management of the school is also calling on the Ghana Education Service GES, parents and benevolent organizations to assist in restoring normalcy. The Northern Regional Minister, Mr. Adolf Ali John, who visited the school to assess the situation, said government is engaging stakeholders to address the situation.
Sympathize with the school and to see the extent of damage and see an immediate way that they can mitigate, to see how they can put things in order for the students to get back to dormitories again. Those who are severely affected will be given some form of external exit so that they can go home and then prepare a bit and then come back within 1 week.
The Deputy Administrator of Get Fund, Mr. Al-Hassan Dandawa, said the school will be given urgent attention.
I want to believe that there is a problem somewhere. If we don't fix the problem, trust me, we'll continue to experience things of this nature. Myself and the regional minister, we are talking, and the administrator is aware of the challenges in Torrance Secondary. This thing that has happened, usually when something happens, the first thing you must thank God is when a life is not lost.
The situation adds to growing concerns about fire safety in second cycle institutions, especially as schools are in session.
There is a growing number of persons with mental health conditions on the street of Ho, the Volta regional capital, a development that is raising serious concerns about mental health care and social protection in the municipality. From the Civic Center through to the Ho main market and other major streets, it is common to see men and women with visible mental disorders roaming, sleeping on pavements or scavenging through refuse bins. Often ignored by passerby, their presence points a deeper societal challenge, one marked by neglect, stigma, and gaps in mental health infrastructure. What is driving this trend? And how are families, communities and institutions responding. GBC's Volta Regional Correspondent Jones Alima has spoken to mental health professionals, social welfare officers and residents and uncovered a story of neglect, survival and a compelling call for compassion.
Each morning, as Ho wakes up and vehicular traffic builds up along its major streets, another sight is familiar. A growing number of men and women living with mental health conditions are seen wandering. At the Ho main station, a young man in tattered clothes paces up and down the taxi rank. Just nearby, in front of the Volta Regional Coordinating Council, a woman believed to be in her 40s is seen standing and talking to herself. Others scavenge through refuse bins for food or sleep under trees near the sports stadium. Residents, some of whom have had encounters with these mental patients, describe the situation as worrying and unpredictable.
First encounter, you be scared because he's coming with some form of attack. But then once he gets your attention, he starts requesting for money, which is quite disturbing.
It's becoming very worrying because each day when you wake up, you see that you are seeing new mentally challenged persons on the road.
Mental health officials say the number of mental health patients seen along the streets does not reflect the full scale of mental illness in the municipality. Mr. Courage Aholu Jaje is the Volta Regional Mental Health Coordinator.
In whole municipality alone, we see close to 2,000 cases which are not on the streets. So if you see 50 patients on the streets, then it means that we've done a lot. Should all the 2,000 cases or even half of those 2,000 cases come on the streets, where do we pass?
He says efforts are being made to rescue and treat such persons with mental health conditions, but such efforts are often frustrated by lack of family support, logistics and personnel.
Now, the Mental Health Authority at a point wanted to take these individuals from the streets and give them dignified treatment and then rehabilitate them and then reintegrate them back into society. They stop the treatment maybe because they are not getting the support from family members. Mental illness cannot be treated by an individual. It is a family thing, it's a community thing.
The Mental Health Act, Act 846, encourages community care to help patients live dignified lives close to their homes. But on the ground, the gap between policy and practice is so wide. The Volta Regional Director of the Department of Social Welfare, Mrs. Stella Mawusi Mauto, says the department is struggling to keep up with the challenges.
We have the social protection policy as a country to take care of the most vulnerable, to take care of the disadvantaged, those who are marginalized, persons with mental health issues, persons with disability, orphan and vulnerable children, abandoned children, children on the streets. All of them should be catered for by our social protection policy. And the policy actually speaks about all of this category of people. The challenge we have is how we can bring the policies to life by providing the resources for people who are implementing this. So that is the gap.
Stigma, cultural beliefs, and high treatment costs continue to push families away, leaving many of those with mental health conditions to fend for themselves on the streets. A clinical psychologist, Mr. Jones Kwesi Tagbo, who is also an executive member of the Ghana Psychological Association, described the situation as a ticking public health issue that must be tackled urgently.
We have this notion that when somebody is mentally ill, then there's a spiritual connotation under it. But that is also influencing the reduction in help-seeking behaviors. And then aside the stigma surrounding it also, the cost in treatment is also another challenging issue. The policy in Ghana is that government is to fund mental health. So it's supposed to be free. But the fact is, it is not really as free as we think it should be.
Experts say with early intervention, proper funding and community support, recovery from mental health disorder is possible.
We're back shortly after this break. Don't go away.
Natural mosquito repellent, highly recommended by Ministry of Health, CHAS and GES, lab tested by Noguchi Medical, field trialed by Atomic Energy Commission. It has no chemical or side effects and is good for all ages and skin type. MedShea is available nationwide. Contact us on 0244892413. This advert is approved by FDA.
Good business means seeing the possibilities and maximizing opportunities. Making sure you have a responsive support system backs your business goals. A partner that gives you a stable platform with reliable connectivity and seamless solutions, and better understands the tools required to take you to the next level. With so many moving parts in running a business, we do our best to provide you with some stability. The only kind of stability you can find with MTN Business Broadband, the fastest and most reliable internet provider in Ghana, making sure you stay ahead and stay connected, because we understand what makes your business tick.
Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh or call or WhatsApp 0244 308 111.
MTN.
Welcome to the business segment. In Accra, the Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Elizabeth Ofosu-Adjare, has announced ambitious plans to boost exports, accelerate industrialization, and strengthen local production as the ministry begins sector-wide planning for the 2026-2029 period. The initiatives form part of government's agenda to expand export base and enhance competitiveness across the trade and agribusiness sectors.
Ministry's 2026 sector-wide planning engagement, which brought together heads of agencies, directors and staff, marks a critical step in aligning the ministry's priorities with its medium-term development objectives. The engagement seeks not only to develop the 2026 annual action plan, but also to commence implementation of the sector medium-term development plan covering 2026 to 2029. Minister Ofosu-Adjare noted that the sector's achievements in 2025 reflect the collective commitment of stakeholders across trade, agribusiness, and industry.
When you do your presentation, then an agency that has been left out from your work will draw your attention, and then we see how we work together. So it's been good, and it's a good way to start the year for the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry.
She reiterated government's target of generating $10 billion in non-traditional export revenue by 2030, stressing the need for coordinated action among agencies and directorates.
Agencies are assured of the ministry's support in executing their business. They know the plan of the government, their expectation. And so I think at the end of the day, everybody knows exactly what to do for the implementation of their programs.
Agencies under the ministry also presented their 2026 action plans, assuring the minister of their readiness to deliver on their respective mandates.
Vision for Clean Agricultural Technologies project has been introduced in rural communities across Ghana, Côte d'Ivoire, and Senegal. The program is designed to promote sustainable farming practices while supporting West Africa's transition to clean energy.
The Innovative for Clean Agriculture Technologies project led by the United Nations Universities Institute for National Resources in Africa, UNUINRA, is driving efforts to promote affordable and sustainable energy solutions for farming. The initiative highlights how clean agri-tech innovations can transform agricultural practices, boost efficiency and strengthen rural livelihoods across West Africa. At a workshop in Accra, the director of UNUINRA and principal investigator of the project, Professor Fatima Danton, urged stakeholders to work together to ensure Ghana's green transition delivers food security, creates decent jobs for women and youth, and build a resilient, low-carbon agricultural economy.
This project has been very much around creating the technologies required, but also building the resilience that is needed so that women entrepreneurs, as well as women farmers, can cope when a huge extreme event happens.
Research fellow at the UNUINRA, Dr. Ferdinando Tony, highlighted challenges facing the agricultural sector.
How can we support women producers not only by financial means, but making sure they have technologies for their activities?
A $37,000 seed funding was up for grabs among innovators from Ghana, Senegal and Cote d'Ivoire. In Ghana, Wobil Technologies took first place with Villian Star Limited in second. In Senegal, Musa Indoi Company emerged top, followed by Adi M. Nisa Mini Power Plant. In Cote d'Ivoire, Linnaeus Company secured first place, while AD Solar came second.
In energy news, the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, has announced new price floors for petroleum products in the first pricing window of February 2026, covering the period from February 1 to February 15. The price floor ensures that oil marketing companies and LPG marketing companies do not sell below the approved minimum levels. This is aimed at curbing price undercutting and promoting market stability.
First pricing window of February, the NPA has set the price floor for petrol at 9 cedis 99 pesos per litre, up from 9 cedis 80 pesos, representing a 1.94% increase. Diesel has been pegged at 10 cedis 95 pesos per litre, rising from 10 cedis 47 pesos, which marks a 4.58% increase. Liquefied petroleum gas LPG is now priced at a floor of 9 cedis 05 pesos per kilogram. Several major players have already adjusted their pump prices to comply with a new directive. State-owned GOIL have expanded its discount network to 200 stations nationwide, up from 150, and is selling petrol at the NPA's floor price of 9 cedis 99 pesos per litre. Under its discounted offer, diesel is now 11 cedis 90 pesos per litre compared to 11 cedis 21 pesos in the previous window, while the regular pump price has risen to 12 cedis 55 pesos per litre from 11 cedis 96 pesos. Regular petrol remains at 10 cedis 99 pesos per litre, and Super XP 95 continues to sell at 13 cedis 97 pesos per litre. Market leader Star Oil has also aligned with the new directive, relating discounted petrol at 9 cedis 99 pesos per litre, while general petrol sells at 10 cedis 56 pesos per litre at some stations. Diesel is priced at 11 cedis 56 pesos per litre and RON 95 at 12 cedis 54 pesos per litre. Other companies such as Zain Petrol and JP Oil, which previously sold petrol and diesel below the new floors, are now required to raise their prices to at least 9 cedis 99 pesos and 10 cedis 95 pesos respectively. Industry analysts expect more companies to review and increase their pump prices in the coming days as February window progresses.
The Electricity Company of Ghana is to begin a nationwide deployment of franchise officers across all district operational areas effective this month as part of measures to enhance operational efficiency and improve service delivery. The initiative forms part of ECG's overall strategy to bring services closer to customers while improving accountability and revenue assurance.
Deployment will enable the authorized officers to support ECG's field operations by undertaking tasks such as reading post-paid meters, checking the integrity of prepaid meters, distributing post-paid bills, and printing bills on site using handheld devices. The officers will also assist customers to make payments through approved digital platforms. The franchise officers will be responsible for disconnecting customers whose accounts are in arrears and identifying and reporting any illegal electricity-related activities for prompt action. Speaking in an interview, the General Manager for External Relations at ECG, Dr. Charles Ni Aiku, said the initiative forms part of ECG's broader strategy to bring services closer to customers while improving accountability and revenue assurance. He explained that the Franchise Officer Initiative is designed to enhance customer convenience, improve billing accuracy, and strengthen ECG's engagement at the community level.
Cancer mixture, a herbal mixture for arthritic pain. Arthritis,
It's me.
cancer mixture, no, cancer mixture, no, cancer mixture. Yerba Biara na Nuduo, Morio ya, or arthritis. Cancer mixture, obey your juma when you put your inside. I'm a place in the gun.
And in Fidrina, menu, on your mapping for in your button, I want one menu. First, baby, I'm from one Sanka, Senior Susan, Bonnie Biara, home doctor, and I report to FDA Med Safety App Nodo.
And Katui, FDA.
Welcome to the health segment brought to you by Trust Jehovah Herbal Clinic and Yamvita as part of ongoing efforts to eliminate neglected tropical diseases in Ghana and support the management of NTD-related wounds. The Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research has donated wound treatment kits to the wound care unit of the Amasaman Government Hospital in Accra. The head of the Department of Parasitology at the institute, Professor Jidom D'Souza, said although NTD cases have declined in Ghana, more needs to be done to completely eliminate the 14 NTDs endemic in the country. Of the 21 neglected tropical diseases recognized by the World Health Organization, Ghana is home to 14 of them. They include Bruley ulcer, yaws, and lymphatic filariasis. These NTDs are sometimes associated with wounds that are expensive to treat. So, as part of its commitment to translate research into impact and support the management of NTD-related wounds, the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research donated wound treatment kits to the Amasaman Government Hospital. They also conducted a demonstration of standard wound care practices and interacted with wounds patients receiving care at the facility. The ceremony formed part of activities marking World NTD Day. The head of the Department of Parasitology at the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research, Professor Jidom D'Souza, said beyond the physical suffering, NTDs carry psychological and social consequences.
NTDs generally they cause pain. They result in physical deformities, disability, stigma. Many of the people, we know that at least 40% of the population of Ghana depends on agriculture for their livelihood. And farming communities are the backbone of the economy and food security. Yes, these communities face disproportionate exposure to NTDs due to environmental and sanitation conditions and limited access to healthcare.
The administrator of the Amasaman Government Hospital, Mr. Nyabere Nsobila, said the wound treatment kits will significantly support the hospital's effort in managing skin-related neglected tropical diseases and other chronic wounds conditions.
Items ranging from wound dressing materials, and these are very critical when it comes to patient care, particularly wounds arising out of neglected tropical diseases.
Officials of the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research say this year they will focus their attention on skin-related NTDs in line with the World Health Assembly resolution, recognizing skin diseases as a global public health priority. The segment was brought to you by Trust Jehovah Herbal Clinic and Yamvita. Now to the international segment. Dozens of worshippers abducted by gunmen in northern Nigeria. You said that. Welcome back. Dozens of worshippers abducted by gunmen in northern Nigeria have returned home weeks after their kidnapping. Police in Kaduna State say the victims were among nearly 180 people seized during attacks on churches as efforts continue to free those still in captivity. Police in Nigeria's northern Kaduna State say dozens of worshippers kidnapped by gunmen have returned home weeks after their abduction. The victims were among 177 people seized during coordinated attacks on 3 churches in the remote village of Kurmenwali. Authorities say the worshippers escaped on the day of the raid but hid in neighboring communities for nearly 2 weeks, fearing they could be captured again. Efforts are ongoing to secure the release of more than 80 people still being held. The incident highlights a growing wave of kidnappings for ransom across Nigeria, which riot groups say reflects a deepening security crisis affecting communities of all faiths. In sports, the national futsal team have wrapped up their preparations ahead of Tuesday's clash with their counterparts from Zambia. Kesley Nanaboidu has more.
The University of Cape Coast Futsal Arena will host the first leg of this year's CAF Futsal AFCON qualifiers. The venue has been active since the national team, the Black Stars Futsal team, pitched camp there to finalize their preparations for the clash with Zambia. The meeting is not the first, as the two met during the 2024 CAF Futsal tournament in Morocco, where Ghana lost by 5-2. With all set for the first leg of the qualifiers, morale in camp is high. Head coach of the national team is Mr. Philip Boachi.
Players no confidence level no also. I think say the last AFCON no mo share I think 5-2. I think bien kasa be we so mo kasa. But if you any fee UCCC complex.
Captain of the side, Timothy Kantanka, is positive they will make good use of the home support.
Coming on tomorrow, March in a day. I think Zambia for one a big revenge because last edition of AFCON, errors, mistakes are really doing. I think we are ready for watching a game.
The fixture is a key test for Ghana's growing futsal program. The Black Stars futsal team will rely on home support as they aim to gain an advantage before the second leg. After Tuesday's encounter in Cape Coast, Ghana and Zambia will meet again in Lusaka for the return fixture. The winner over the two legs will secure qualification to the 2026 CAF Futsal Africa Cup of Nations.
The Old Achimota Association has staged a one-day inter-school alumni tennis competition at the Accra Lawn Tennis Club. It was as part of activities marking the countdown to Achimota School Centenary celebration in 2027. All 7 old student associations participated.
Associations from Achimota School, Infantipim School, Adisadel College, Wesley Girls High School, Holy Child School, Presbyterian Boys School Presec Legon, and Ebri Girls School took part in the competition. The tournament, aimed at promoting social interaction and networking among old students, attracted a large turnout. Competitors featured in several categories, including ladies singles, men's singles, mixed doubles, and doubles events. In the ladies singles, Wesley Girls High School defeated Holy Child School 6-4, while Achimota School beat Ebri Girls School 6-2. In the men's singles, Presec Legon beat Adisadel College 6-3-7-5, while Infantipim School defeated Achimota School 6-0-6. In the men's 45 years and above category, Presec Legon overcame Adisadel College 6-1-6-2, while Infantipim School edged past Achimota School 6-1-0-6. In the men's seniors category, Presec Legon beat Adisadel College 6-1-6-1, while Infantipim School beat Achimota School by the same margin. In the mixed doubles event, the pair of Presec Ebri Girls defeated the pair of Infantipim School and Wesley Girls High School 6-3. In the ladies doubles, Ebri Girls School defeated Holy Child School 6-3, while Wesley Girls High School beat Achimota School 6-2. In the men's doubles, Presec beat Infantipim School 6-3, with Adisadel College defeating Achimota School 6-2. At the end of the competition, Adisadel College emerged winners of the men's doubles after defeating Presec in the final. Presec and Ebri Girls School won the mixed doubles after defeating Achimota School. Here are some reactions from players.
I mean, there's always a great feeling in winning. Winning has always been our culture. So I must say that myself and my partner, we are super excited for beating these 3 giants in the second cycle school. It was never easy.
I met competing for the first time.
For the first time.
Players. So yeah, I enjoyed coming here. My legs are hurting, but it was so worth it.
Well, it was good participation across all schools. Good. Yes, we will have our arguments and everything, but beyond that, all of us, we see ourselves as one sports fraternity.
Chairman of the Fundraising and Sponsorship Committee, Leslie Awerektre, explained the reason behind the competition.
We played lots of tennis, enjoyed ourselves. There's a reason for this event. Achimota School celebrated its 99th birthday on Wednesday, and we are preparing to celebrate our centenary in a year's time.
Trophies were presented to players and teams in the various categories.